There's something so unique and special about living for something greater than yourself. There's something to it that fulfills your life on another level than beyond just gaining as much money as possible, as much popularity as possible, as much influence as you can. Things that make you the God of yourself. Now, you can use all those things to honor the Lord. You can use your finances to honor God. You can use your social media influence to honor the Lord. You can do all those things and also serve God at the same time. But just generally speaking, for the most part, if you see in society nowadays and today's culture, it becomes an idol. It's a me thing. It's how can I get as much of this to make me feel good? And for me, I just clearly, I have a clear understanding from my perspective that is not the best way to live. Now, everybody's in different boats. Everybody has different perspectives. So I'm just offering my own perspective, my own take on that. Just because I think when you think about it, it's like, okay, let's say I have that secular understanding of money and fame and influence and these things. Okay, so now I gained all this money, gained all this influence, and you still see people not fulfilled. You still see people with depression, anxiety. They don't know what to do with themselves. It's like, oh, well, one day I'm going to no longer be here. Now what? I can't take those things with me in the grave. Like, what do I do? So with all that said, there's just so much more to life that you can tap into. And my encouragement to you is that you give that a chance. And one example I think of a lot, and as a Christian, your ultimate role model and your guide to life, and the person that you want to become and strive to become every single day is Jesus, is Christ himself. And in Luke chapter 22, I believe, it's right before he gets crucified, the night before. He's praying to his Father in heaven, and he's opening up about how he's feeling human in this moment. Of course, he's God himself, but he's fully human as well. So he's feeling the weight and the pressure of what's about to happen to him. But then he says in his prayer, "It is not my will, but yours be done." And that word will, God's will for you, God's purpose, God's plan, things like that are all throughout Scripture. And it can be sometimes difficult to fully determine what that will is, to fully determine what that purpose is, that plan is for you, and how to live according to that will. Now, I've been reading Romans again, the book of Romans, and in Romans chapter 12, it kind of touches on that a little bit. So I wanted to share that really, really fast. So the book of Romans chapter 12 opens up by saying the true and proper worship is to offer your lives as a living sacrifice. That you are offering yourself, you're offering your flesh, you're offering your fleshly desires and your own wants and what you think is best for you. You're sacrificing that, you're denying that, you are offering that as a sacrifice before God. You're saying God is no longer my life, who is living, is no longer what myself wants to be gratified with, but I am offering that as a sacrifice to you. I am denying my flesh, I'm denying myself, and I'm offering myself as a living sacrifice before you. Now, it's still a living sacrifice, so you're still obviously alive, so relax. You're still alive, you're a living sacrifice before God. Then number 2, the second part of chapter 12, I believe in verse 2 or 3, it goes on to say how you are not conforming to the ways of this world, but you are transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, when I first started this, I said how so often people live their lives according to what the world says, according to how much money you can make, etc. But the Bible directly says to go against that, to say, no, you're not conforming to what the world says. You are transformed. And you're transformed where? You're transformed in the renewing of your mind. That's where it begins. That's where this process truly takes shape. It's not the outward expression. It's your internal desire, it's your internal decision that you're making in your heart, your spirit, and your mind. You're transformed through your thinking. That's where it begins. If you want to seek God's will for you, you need to start internally. You need to start by transforming your thought process and not conforming to what is going on around you. So that's number 2. And then I believe in verse 5, chapter 12, verse 4 or 5, and then the little section concludes by saying, then you will be able to approve and test and determine what God's will is for you. So it's a two-way street, just like in any relationship. It's not, God will speak to you, of course. I mentioned that in the last video I did. But it's a two-way street. You have to do your part as well. You need to transform your thinking. You need to offer yourself as a living sacrifice. You need to say no to what the world says. You need to be in the Word. You need to be in prayer. You need to do these things. And then, slowly but surely, God's will will be revealed to you. His will be shown. His direction will be guiding your life. And so that's how that little section in Romans chapter 12 concludes, by saying, once you do this, once you are offering yourself as a living sacrifice, then once you do not conform to the ways of this world and transformed by the renewing of your mind, where you're allowing God to transform into Christ-likeness, into Christ-like thinking, by being in the Word, by being in prayer, then God's will be revealed to you. Then you will be able to see that. Then you'll be able to approve it. Then you'll be able to test it and see it for yourself. So the moral of the story is there's so much more out there for you. There's so much more to live for. There's so much more to tap into that will fulfill your life far beyond the superficial things of this world. And that's my prayer over you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.